We're going to go ahead and target a different box today. This box is called Granny. All right. The box that we did yesterday was pretty cool because it had a bunch of different exploits that we could use. This one doesn't really have that many. It's more straightforward, at least from what I saw. But we're going to go ahead and work on it together, y'all. So I'm going to try to ask you questions to for learning purposes so you all can benefit from this as well. Okay, so this is a fresh box. I don't think I have anything done. Nope. So what we're going to do is, so what's the first thing we want to do on this target? This is the IP address right here, right? This is what they gave us. What's the first thing that we should do?
See what it's connected to.
Right. See or see what services are running on it. And we want to see what services are running. What tool could we use to scan for different services?
Your Nmap.
Nmap. All right, we're gonna do our Nmap scan. Um, Here, I'll show you the Nmap scan without using the script. So let's go into, let's make a directory called Nmap. We'll go into that directory, cd into it. Now let's do an Nmap scan, nmap-pn. I'll explain what these switches do in a second. Pn.sv, let's do vv. Top ports 25, the IP address, and we'll save this to a file called 10.10.10.15, top 25. All right, so this Nmap scan right here, we're disabling ping, so it's not going to ping this system to see if it's online. It's just going to do this version scan. Version scan is scanning for the different versions that are running on here. We want to get as much information back as it's scanning right on the screen. So that's why we have the -VV. And we only want to scan the top 25 ports. Remember in class we mentioned that there are common ports. Okay, there are common ports. Some of them are considered top 25. So because of that VVV, we're getting all the information right here on the screen. And it's saving it to this file that we created right here. So if I do a ls, you'll see the file right here. And we can use the cat command to open it up if we wanted to. All right, so it's looking like there's a firewall possibly blocking all the other ports. That's why it says filtered. But we do have one port open. It's port 80. And we are familiar with that now, class. That's HTTP. And we can see the application right here that's running on port 80. It's running an IIS HTTPD server. Okay, so let's go ahead and just browse to that website. Let's see what's on port 80. Let's see what's over here. Granny.htb. I already mapped the port number or the protocol. It said protocol. I mapped the IP address to this domain here. All right, just easier for me to remember. And you can see there's nothing really going on this page. It's under construction. Okay, this is, we'll learn more about what I'm getting ready to say, class, but this right here is a lot of information, right? It's a little bit too much information for your website to be giving off to the world. That it's under construction. It's telling us the application that you're using, the web application, IIS. I mean, Nmap showed it to us. But if people were just casually browsing to this and they saw this is enough to start doing some enumeration, right? Trying to find some vulnerabilities on this. Okay, let Matt in. Let me let Matt in real quick before we go. All right, so all right, sorry, I got distracted for a quick second. All right, so this is this right here running. Microsoft IIS. This is the only port that we have open right now from that scan I just ran. Let's just do a quick Google search on this. Okay, here's an exploit. This looks like the same two exploits. Haha, here's a write-up. Let's look at this exploit here. Okay, this is a web dev. It's a buffer overflow. We're going to talk about buffer overflows probably tomorrow, class. Okay. Alright, this looks like it might be giving us remote command execution. Let's just check searchsploit 2 for the same thing. We didn't get anything. What if I do web dev 6.0? Okay, we got something. Alright, this same thing is there. Alright, so we're gonna go with this guy, I think. Yeah, let's go with that. Because this is the same one right here, 41738. And it's a Python script, okay? This is a Python script that is doing some type of remote code, buffer overflow. I'm not entirely sure what it's exactly overflowing in memory, but all right, there's some shell code here that's obviously going to get us a shell back. And looks like we're going to change this to our target IP. It's on port 80. And let's just see how it works first. So searchsploit-m41738.py. Got that here. Okay. Let's go ahead and start changing some stuff. 10.10.10. What is it? 15. Let's just see how this thing works. I'm just gonna run it. Oh, no. Okay. Let me see something. Okay. We might have to open up a shell, actually. Let me see. Let me change this to web dev exploit GitHub. I think I might have something on my GitHub actually for this. Let's see what this is right here. Let's use this one. This looks like the same exploit, but it's, let's see. Let's use this one because this right here looks like it works, but I'm not too sure how to use this Python script. Right? Usually when I make a Python script, I provide instructions on how it works. So I just copied this right here, this Git repo. This is just an online directory you can download. I just downloaded it with this git clone command. You can see the URL here. It's downloading. Here's the folder. Let's cd into it. List this out. Alright, here it looks like the script right here. Let's just look at it for a quick second. Alright, this looks like the same thing. But I don't see any entries here for the IP address, so let's copy that. into exploit.py. So I just copied everything from this script over here, just renamed it. You can see it. I'm going to run it, see if we get instructions. Usually, there we go. Usually when you run a script, it gives you instructions. So here are some instructions. The script needs the target IP, it needs the target port number, it needs reverse IP. Oh, our IP and our port. Okay, this looks more friendly. All right, so we need to do Python exploit.py, the target IP, which is 10.10.15, the target port number, which is on port 80. Then we need to do our IP, which is 10.10.14.13. And let's open up a listener on port 1234. All right, cool. Now let's run this. Okay, that's the same thing we saw from earlier. And oh, boom. So that gave us a shell back. Okay, this gave us a shell back. Let's see who we are. Who am I? We are a user called network service. Okay. Do we have access to the administrative directory? I'm going to change directories into... All right, so quick recap. We found an exploit, right? Tried to go with this one first, but didn't really have good instructions on how to use it. I'm pretty sure based off of looking at it, I just need to change this IP to the target and possibly change the shell code to something that I created so it can call back to me. All right, but we didn't do that. So I ended up searching for an exploit on GitHub because they usually have some instructions. His didn't have instructions on the repo, but when we ran the script, it showed us how to use it, and we were able to get this shell back, right? So we are, when I say shell back, we have a command prompt opened up that this website is living on, right? So this command prompt is the system, right? This system that this website is living on. That's this shell that we have right here. So we want to see there's an administrative directory. Can we log over there? Because that's where my flag is. That's denied. There should be a user flag here. That's denied. Sweet. All right, so we have to escalate our privileges. So to escalate your privileges, you need to do enumeration. You need to figure out what is on the system that we can use to escalate privileges. What vulnerabilities, what's missing, what's not there. So let's start with the system info command to see what type of system we're on. Right? If I just did system info, it's giving me the system information. What operating system? Perfect. This is a Windows 2003 operating system. This is an end-of-life system, y'all. Matt, what's an end-of-life system? Or Princess or Rachel? Only the people in class.
Sorry, I was driving. End of life system. It's basically just a system that is not like basically like in use anymore. That's not having patches or anything created for. So like if Windows isn't servicing like Windows 7 or anything anymore, there aren't any patches or anything being made for it. So if it's vulnerable or hacked or anything like that, there aren't any patches for it.
Good job, Rachel. So there are any. So this is a Windows 2003 server. This is an end-of-life system. Windows 2003. I mean, there are a few ways that could pop this box right now. I'm pretty sure I could just use my juicy potato exploit that I've used before. Or I could probably use this MS15-051 exploit, but I want to try something different. I'm going to use, because Windows 2003 is just a field day, honestly. LPE. LPE stands for Local Privilege Escalation. We could probably use this, but let's use, I want to use something else. I want to use this other tool. Copy. Exploit. Actually, hold on. Let me not use that. Let's see. Global privilege escalation. What's this? Token kidnapping privilege. This sounds like juicy potato. Oh, you know what? I've seen this before. Yeah, let's use this. I think I already have this though. Copy exploits. Let me see. Where is it? Is it even under exploits? Yeah, it should be right. Yeah. Sudo user. So what I'm gonna do is try to escalate privileges. Share Windows. I'm gonna use this executable here. Binaries. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna use this exploit. Not entirely. So I believe this is just using tokens to run system level commands as system with system privileges or access, however you want to pronounce it, say it. Yeah, it is. So it's can impersonate other process that can impersonate IS where you run code. Yeah, so it's impersonating somebody else using tokens. This is almost like the juicy potato exploit. Okay, so we're gonna use this executable here, and I think I've read this from somewhere before, or actually, let's just do. Let's go exploit. Yeah, this looks more familiar now. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and run this exploit. I was just trying to jog my brain on how to use this thing again, but I think I remember. So one thing I want to do, I'm going to create a shell, Windows, shell, reverse. I'm going to create a payload actually that we're going to use to escalate our privileges. We'll put this on 444. We'll call it shell.exe. So what this is, y'all, MSF Venom, you've seen me use it a few times. You can use this to create payloads, different types of payloads that ultimately give you remote code access. Okay, so what I'm doing is setting the payload to be a Windows payload. It's specifically going to be a reverse shell. Okay, we'll talk more about shells later. I'm telling the payload that this is the IP and port I want you to connect back to. This is the type of payload I want. I want it to be an executable file. Since I'm transferring it to a Windows operating system, I want an executable file. And I want to name it or output it as shell.exe. Okay, so that's going to run. That should be the last part that we need to escalate our privileges. I'm going to go ahead and clear that up. What port did I use again? 444. So I'm going to set up another port listener on port 444. What I'm going to do here, let's go back. Where did we? I'll go back one more. So here's the exe that we're going to use to grab the tokens and run commands for us as system. I don't need this anymore. And we're gonna transfer this and this over to this box that we have over here, and then use this to run this to give us system level privileges right over here on the right hand side. Okay, so I gotta transfer this stuff over first, right? Which means I'm gonna start up an SMB server. SMB servers, you can think of it as a file server or just a way to transfer files back and forth. Okay, I just started up this SMB server on my attacking box, and I'm going to use that to copy over the files to this box here. But I got to do it from a location I have access to copy things over from. Usually you can do that inside the temp directory. I can make sure with this icls command. Denied cacls. Okay, I can't see cacls on that. Well, hopefully we can copy over to it. So we want to copy from our attacking box on this Kali folder that we created. And I want to copy shell.exe. Okay, we were able to copy it. It says one file copied, and you can see that somebody grabbed something from our SMB server. And I want to copy one more file. That's going to be churasco.exe. All right, I have both of them now. So I'm going to use this churasco.exe to execute this. All right, I'm going to use this to execute this. This right here is going to do that whole token impersonation exploit we saw somewhere. Right, this thing, yeah, the whole token impersonation thing. And it's going to run this command with whatever tokens that it steals, I believe. And it should give us a shell here as system. And here we are. Who am I? Boom. All right, now we are the system user. We can go back to documents and settings. CD documents and settings. We should be able to get into this account now. We can. Here's the root flag that I'm going to copy later. And here's the user flag that we're going to copy. And that is how we pop this box right here. So what did we do, y'all? We let's go ahead and just open up Cherry Tree. So we use to take notes. Let me know if y'all have any questions. 10 up, 10 up, 10 up, 10 up, 15. We'll call this Granny. That's the name of the box. Okay, no. So what did we do first? I think it was somebody had mentioned that we're first going to do our Nmap scan. Which is what we did, and that's what we got here. We had all these one open port. We could have made this a lot cleaner to just show the open port. I just wanted to show you all what.
How do you do that?
How do we do what?
To just show the open port and not the filter ports.
So we would do it like this. It would do this same thing here, but she would tell it just open ports, open, and it's only going to show us open ports.
Okay, okay.
See? So I'm going to screenshot this one instead. And you can tell that there's a firewall sometimes if it says filtered and not closed. So we did the Nmap scan first, right? After we did the Nmap scan, what did we do? We went over to the website. We saw this thing over here going on. And, you know, we did acknowledge that this is an error vulnerability, right? It's giving too much information in its error messages. Page. So from here, what did we do? We didn't get too much information from this page, but because of that version scan we ran over here, we had saw that this was running IIS, right? HTTPD 6.0. So we did some Google searching on that exploit, on that service. And I believe this is when we found this exploit, but this isn't what we used to actually pop the box. Okay, we actually used this to pop the box. Okay, we use this to pop the box here. IS 6.0 vulnerability. We used this to pop the box, and did it work for us? It did. That's how we got our shells over here. Right? Yeah. That's how we got this shell over here. And then we escalated our privileges because this was using an end-of-life system over Windows Server 2003. And we were able to use this token impersonation thing or tool to go ahead and grab a token and run our command as the account it impersonated via that token. Any questions, y'all? That was it. That was it.